Hello and welcome back for another Alliance War video. After taking a season off, for Loki is once again pushing. This is the first war of season 37, going up against POPS. In this war, I'm going to be on Path 9 in both Section 1 and Section 2, and then I have a mini-boss. First fight up on Path 9 is Void, very common placement in war. He can be very tough on this node if you get any debuffs on you. And I'm going to be using Angela, going in with all the Odin pre-fights just to kind of ramp her up as much as possible, give her the ability to shrug off really all the debuffs from the node. So really the plan going in here is to watch my hit counter, trying to hit those 10 hit combos as a debuff is applying, so they're not on there very long. The whole goal is to get rid of them as fast as possible. Void does get a Fury anytime a debuff lands, and he can be tough if those stick and you've lost your hit counter or you get hit. So really, the plan is just to play it as safe as possible. I know I'm going to take a little bit of chip damage here and there from the debuffs, but all in all, this fight, while not my cleanest fight with Angela on this node, I come out in pretty good shape. It's going to take me, a small health potion to kind of top up, but all things considered, it is not a bad fight at all. Next fight up is going to be Toad. Really the plan on this fight is to use my specials to heal block him. I don't really know Toad that well, know all his abilities. I know his healing can be very, very troublesome. I can kind of understand why they might put him here, but with Angela being a global attacker and being able to take advantage of that, use the specials to throw that heal block on there, and this is really just a straightforward fight from there. The annoying part on this node is, whenever I get above that first bar of power, he goes indestructible for a couple seconds. So, I've got to face that a couple times in here. But you can see, throw the special 2, get the armor break on there, get the heal block on there. He's not healing up very much at all. Toss another special here, I think after this next combo, to once again just get that heal block on there. And that'll finish up this fight. Very, very clean. I threw on an invulnerability boost on that fight because I was kind of worried about it since I didn't know his special animations real well. I knew I wanted the bait special ones, but just in case I got hit, I threw it on there. Good thing I did. This next fight against Human Torch, one thing I did not take into consideration in this fight is the last part of the node there, which is the power efficiency node, where his special attacks cost 50% less power. I just kind of underestimated the number of times I would have to evade his special attacks. And I'm not the greatest at evading Torch's specials. I can do it, and I do it a couple times in here, but, there are times I get hit, there are times I just take it in the block. So, really the plan here is just to try to evade those specials as much as possible. There you go. There's a good dex of his special. You can still see he's still well above a bar of power. Have to take a hit there, there's another special one, so it is just a lot of special attacks going constantly on this fight. Ideally just trying to get out as clean as I can, so I don't have to use too many potions. At this point I already know I'm going to have to use some, because I'm going to need Angela for one more fight, but, another special one. Another special, and I wasn't expecting this next one right away, so that's unfortunate because all I needed was a couple more hits to finish him off. But what would be an alliance war without me, getting hit a couple times stupidly? So we're going to go ahead and move forward to Section 2. First fight there is going to be a Dragonman. This is on the one-eyed open node, so you can't really parry stun them to get an opening. You just kind of have to bait heavies and the plan here is to just use my special 3 only to get shocks on them, and let those do a good chunk of damage to them. So not too worried about this fight overall. I'll boost it up, like I typically will for war. It's nice that the shock on the node just kind of ramps up the charges on Nebula. The only fear here that I have is accidentally pushing him to a special 3. But since Nebula takes off his power gain, that is even a minimal fear. So, just going to bait heavies, play it safe. I'm not going to go for intercepts. I may do 1 or 2, but just bait specials, counter the specials, throw my special 3, and get out without hopefully having to use a potion because I'm going to use Nebula on the next fight. So we've got the first of the special 3s off, and now we get to place a shock on every contact with the Dragonman, and that's really nice ability of Nebula's, since her buff, she is one of the better war attackers, especially against robots. Unfortunately, he's playing a little passive there for a while, so it was a little bit slower section of the fight. Really, I think the other fear that I always had in this fight is accidentally parrying and taking that damage from the charges that would be placed on him. But you just have to be careful when you're evading back. It's something that I have done in the past, and it does hurt a little bit. But we get off a second special 3 and finish off the fight. Pretty clean fight there. I'm not going to have to use any heals for the next fight, which is always nice. Alright, moving ahead, next fight up is an Elsa Bloodstone. This one, really, the whole plan in it is not to die. I'm going to use Nebula again. I don't need her again for another fight. Just the whole plan is I don't care how much chip damage I take. Ideally, I get my charges up from the node, which I do, and then really just plan is to parry her, get the shocks on there. If I can get a special 2 off, great. Evade her specials as much as possible. Do whatever I can just to kind of get through it. And here we go. I think I'm just going to get a parry in, maybe toss a special 2, and that should finish the fight. And there we go. Nice little 20k tick on the shock charges on it there. Really, really simple fight. Glad it went as well as it did. Now for the one that I was worried about most, which is going to be a Korg on the Hazard Shift Mini. Going to be using Angela. Really plan here is to try to light counter his heavy attacks. I'm going to bait them as much as possible, and it takes a double light to counter the heavy, so it's not a whole lot of hits. My biggest fear in this was the amount of chip damage I was going to take, so I do throw on a combat regen boost to kind of counter that at the beginning. Going to hope to use some of Angela's healing. The other part of this is I am terrible at evading Korg Special 1. I mess up the timing more than I get it right, so really going to try to bait Special 2s. Here we go, see, there we go. So we do a light counter on his heavy attack. Some of them work. It is a little bit of a tricky timing. Once I get the shield down, I can do kind of standard medium, light, medium combos without taking that thorns damage. The first part of this fight is going exceptionally well. still at 100% health. You know, I'm taking up about 20% of his health. You know, really just hoping for a special 2, and there we go. So you take a little bit of Thorns damage there because I had, you know, I used a medium instead of a light to counter that special. There I missed a light, you know, counter. So got a little scared there, so I just went ahead and did a standard 5-bit combo. Eat the special 1, like I said, terrible at evading moves. Toss the special 3 just to kind of get a little bit of adrenaline healing, and then Angela should have a heal up at that time and a couple, you know, in reserve. So I'm going to heal up some. So I figure, you know, because I've got the heals on, I'm winning the health battle. I'm still going to light intercept when I can, but it's not as important to me at this point. I'm feeling pretty good. I'm feeling much better than I was going into the fight. You know, back up to about 80% health. There I'm going too early for a light counter. Evade another special 2. Since his rock shield is down for my special 2, you know, get the armor breaks on there, a little bit extra damage. It doesn't do a whole lot, but you know, whatever I can do at this point to get him down. You know, still feeling pretty good. It is a slow fight, unfortunately, but you know, just going to kind of keep up with my plan the rest of the way. Try to bait the special 2s. You know, if I have to use a medium to hit his rock shield, it's not doing too much damage to me. And there I missed the special 1 again. But still, even with that, I'm sitting at about 65% health. I've got him down to 23. I'm feeling very, very good. Just going to, let's see, there's another light counter missed. So I think the rest of the way I don't even worry about the light counters, which is help getting where it's at. So I'm doing good damage when his shield is down, and we for a special to finish him off. So all in all, a very good war, in my opinion, on, you know, a couple mistakes on Human Torch, but you know, I'll take it. You know, only a few heals had to be used. So for the season, so far 6 kills, 0 deaths, and for Loki is 1-0. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.